watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network. It's an A-10 showdown between the St. Joseph's Hawks and the VCU Rams here in Richmond, Virginia. Always an honor to tip it off on this special day where we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. With that, we say good afternoon once again. Jordan Kent alongside my good friend Mike O'Donnell. Tiffany Blackman will join us here in just a moment. Mike, St. Joseph's comes in. They've won 3 straight, arguably playing their best ball of the season. VCU, the Rams have a high-octane offense. They're seeking an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament.
The defense for St. Joseph's has to be perfect, completely dialed in this afternoon, because VCU's offense, they are a threat to give you 90 every time they step on the floor.
You've mentioned the deep roster for VCU. It's bolstered today, the return of Lazar Djokovic.
A skilled, explosive, and mismatched problem in the post. VCU with Djokovic gives you a lot of different angles in the post, can step out and shoot the 3. He is a perfect addition to this VCU Rams offense in the portal.
For St. Joseph's, their playmaking will rely in the hands of Jaden Glover-Toscano. When you look at everything he does on the floor, he just moves differently than everybody else for the Hawks.
Ultra smooth, and he is a big-time scorer. He's 7th in the Atlantic 10 in scoring, but he needs to be really good from the three-point line this season. Partially, in fact, because St. Joseph's has been struggling from a three-point line, but you're starting to see improvement. You see the first 15 games, look at the last 3 games, all of a sudden St. Joseph's offense starting to look better.
It's been quite the turnaround for the Hawks, and for more on that, we bump it over to our third member, Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, well, that turnaround was sparked by a team meeting they held after that loss to Davidson, and it was led by senior leader Derek Simpson, and the goal was to just clear the air. And so what it did was it allowed for players to express what they needed from their coaches and the coaches to do the same. When we talked with guard Jaden Glover-Toscano, he said that meeting clarified what everybody's roles are. And Jordan, as they move forward, they all feel like now they're on the same page.
Thank you, Tiffany. And what you're going to see on the floor is more of a pace, energy, and athleticism for the Hawks. We take a look at the starting lineups, and Justice Ajabaw, second in the A-10 in blocks. He's a key piece of the defensive anchor for the Hawks. And for VCU, how about Nick Lewis, the freshman, plays more mature than his years, as we had a chance to chat with him, and Phil Martelli Jr. will tell you this team is deep. In his first season at the helm for the Rams, they want to use their depth to wear down the Hawks throughout this game. As St. Joseph's comes in, we've mentioned a 3-game winning streak, trying to push it to 4. VCU sitting at 12-6, 3-2 in the A-10. They've let a couple of marquee quad 1 games just slip out of their fingers, Mike. Just a couple of possessions here or there. They could have had wins against Utah State, NC State, or New Mexico, but here we go with the tip as we get started in Richmond. The Hawks control, Glover-Toscano, open look, and how about that start for the Hawks as they take off flying?
Right on cue. We talked about how it was going to be so important for him this afternoon to make threes, and a score like that, you see your first one go down, could be a big afternoon for Glover-Toscano.
Despite this Hawks team shooting 28% from 3 on the year, Glover-Toscano second in the conference in made threes this season. For VCU, you mentioned it, some athletic bigs that love to catch and roll, and there's a 3 to match from Djokovic.
34% from 3 this season. True inside-out threat for VCU.
Here comes a legitimate full-court press from VCU. The Rams historically have always had a tough defense. The lob up top interrupted by Barry Evans. One of the transfers from Bryant, where Phil Martelli Jr. came from. Led Bryant to the NCAA tournament last year. Jadrian Tracy, the transfer from Oregon, knifes his way to the cup.
You can see the spacing for VCU. That's the way they want to play. 5-out offense, attack if you don't have something, kick and cut. It's really good pace and spacing this season from the Rams on the offensive side of the floor. Tracy
has spent some time at St. Joseph's earlier in his career. Glover-Toscano, that ball deflected off his shin. The quick hands of the
Rams. Watch Tracy knife through the lane. The senior Jadarian Tracy coming off a really good game for Rhode Island. Dropped 17 in that game.
The quick drive to the cup. Oh, pinned against the glass My goodness. Ajuba quickly met him at the summit, and then a careless turnover on the other end.
Why would you try Ajuba? Don't. I do not recommend it at the rim. He led the Atlantic 10 in blocks last season. His timing is so good.
Head coach Steve Donahue said he just has a different mentality about himself when he chases those shots. Evans inside, trying to muscle his way, pops out. Rebound chased down by Desir Haskins. That ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be St. Joseph's ball. And speaking of their coach, Steve Donahue, in his first season has 25 years experience as a head coach. He said, we are playing better defensively. We need to play very efficiently in the two-point range because we don't shoot a lot of threes typically. Finkley picked up his dribble. Ajuba trying to keep the offense rotating. Haskins poked away from behind. Up ahead, it's Evans, open runway. Oh, throws it down. 7-0 run for VCU. 4 consecutive stops for the Rams defensively. And how about a 3 to silence the crowd from Finkley?
He's been struggling from 3 this season, just 21%, but he was 5th in the Atlantic 10 last season, shot close to 40% from 3.
Certainly one of those players for St. Joseph's they feel has another gear. Djokovic, that'll take down the poster off the wall. Either way, though, how about that statement from Djokovic? He was out with an illness last game, clearly healthy this afternoon. But that is going to be an offensive foul on Jennings. First turnover for the Rams. Comes the trap, and St. Joseph so far showing some poise, breaking that press. Finkley, this time gets Djokovic to switch on him. Comes the trap. St. Joseph so far showing some poise, breaking that press. Finkley, this time gets Djokovic to switch on him. Haskins, the drive. Haskins trying to find it to Ajuba, and that's going to bounce out of bounds, and another turnover for St. Joseph's.
Let's look at the offensive foul. Remember, that's Djokovic. Yeah, Jennings, I'm okay with that. That was a phenomenal finish from Djokovic.
Did you know he had that in his bag?
I did, because I watched film in preparation for this game, preparing for that, ready for that.
See, the film I watched of the game against Rhode Island, the victory he didn't play. Here's Evans. Back to Djokovic. He's already piped in a 3 earlier. Ball reversal, something VCU wants to emphasize. Tracy, contested 3, no good. Tries to chase down his own miss. The Hawks recover. Glover Toscano racing ahead. Austin Williford in the lineup. Here's Simpson, his 3, and how about St. Joseph's 3 made threes in the first 4 minutes of action.
And 2 of those threes coming from players who have been struggling from 3 this season. Simpson just 26% from beyond the arc. Oh, he got thrown.
Bennett can't get it. Djokovic, hard fall, bounces right back up though.
Djokovic thought it was going to be a lob, and he was open for the lob opportunity there.
Simpson will try another 3. That one gets a friendly road bounce. How about the outside shooting for the Hawks? They connected on 4 triples already. Tracy fouled as he goes crashing towards the cup. Well, St. Joseph's was known as a 2-point field goal team, but not so much to start this game. They've already connected on 4 triples. Simpson with a pair of them as they have taken an early 12-7 lead here in Richmond. The intensity of that flutist has only been surpassed by the intensity of the 3-point shooting for St. Joseph's. Mike, they are 4 for 4 to start this game as they built a 12-7 advantage over the home team, VCU.
St. Joseph's is ranked last in the Atlantic 10 in 3-point field goal percentage, shooting just 28% from 3 on the season, but they are red hot to start this afternoon. 2 big ones from their leading scorer at the guard position, Simpson. Wow.
And it's odd, Mike, because they have 4 turnovers also to start this game. So it's certainly been some hot and cold possessions. They're 4 of 5. They've only attempted 1 2-point field goal so far. And sometimes you just have to take what the defense gives you. And so far, it's been 3-point shooting, which if you're VCU, you come into this game scouting St. Joseph, you're okay giving up the 3-point shot.
Well, I don't think you're okay with giving up made threes, but what you're alluding to is, well, VCU says, we're going to pack the lane in. You're not going to get anything in the lane. You're not going to get anything driving, and we're going to make you make threes. It'll be interesting to follow. Do the analytics actually continue throughout the course of the game? Is this a red-hot game from 3 for St. Joseph's? Or will the averages eventually even out?
And we mentioned it in the open, coming into their 3-game winning streak, they were averaging about 7.2 made threes per game, shooting around 28%. Now they're making about 9 threes per game at 32%, but nothing about this 4 for 4 perfect from the field. Tracy splits a pair. I mentioned the depth that we're going to see for VCU. Michael Belle onto the floor now, as well as Hill Jr., their leading scorer, number 6. 6 to shoot. Glover Toscano with Djokovic on him. Shot clock winding down. Glover Toscano. Oh, that is eliminated out of bounds with 1 second remaining on the shot clock.
The reason why this shot was rushed is because the 3-quarter court press from VCU took down the shot clock, and St. Joseph's didn't get into their offense quickly enough.
St. Joseph's will have to get a shot up quick. Ajova to try and beat the horn. No good. Ball batted around, claimed by Lewis. Up ahead to Hill. Hill dumps it off. Bell open, look for 3. That's short. And Ajova controls it. Williford. Haskins trying to back down Hill. Can't get the bucket. Back come the Rams. Tracy thought about it for a second. Hill, hesitation dribble on the baseline. Nice find to Bell. He rings it home.
Just a little over-the-head pass from Terrence Hill Jr. Comes off the bench and provides just a huge spark all season long on the offensive side.
Terrence Hill Jr. from Portland, Oregon said he wanted to come play for an East Coast school. Another turnover for the Hawks. In transition, Hill from the opposite coast can't get it. Djokovic rips down the board. Tracy, he'll try the 3. Off target, rebound, Ajova. He gobbles up another one. It's his 4th rebound already.
I would say that's full score transition defense, though, for St. Joseph's, because those were 2 clean looks by VCU.
You're okay? I'd have no problem giving up the 32-footer for 3, but you think that's a risky shot to get?
Maybe from Terrence Hill,
yeah.
First 3, he can make that.
Okay.
That's a shot that he could absolutely make in transition and rhythm. Throw it up.
Lewis fights for another rebound. Bell in transition, body spilling. Bell finishes. It's a 5-0 run from VCU to tie it up at a dozen apiece.
Sometimes you ask me a question about would I take a 3 in transition.
This is true. I forgot who I'm talking
always
to.
Take a 3 in transition.
See, some of us have to think about every shot they took back in the day. Glover Toscano trying to pry free. A triple over 2. Ajova claims the offensive rebound. St. Joseph's has yet to hit a 2-point field goal. And a foul about 90 feet from the bucket on Williford.
This is what VCU does. They are one of the more efficient transition offensive teams, not just in the Atlantic 10, but in the country. They do a great job of spacing. You'll see a player go wide out to the 3, to the deep corner. You'll see one player cut to the rim. The ball's always getting to the middle of the floor.
Mike, St. Joseph's is 4 for 5 from 3, 0 for 6 from 2, with a lot of shots in the paint. 0 paint points, obviously. VCU, 8 of their 12 points.
Just the antithesis of what their offense has been this
Everything
season.
we talked about.
We're wrong. Yeah, sorry, everybody.
Hill to Bell, can't quite make the connection. Bell controls it. Hill curling, catching, casting, misses everything. And here comes Simpson up ahead. Williford, 2 defenders trying to cut through. What a find to Smith. Oh, rejected by Bell. Jaden Smith fresh into the game, trying to put it in, and he does. The first 2-point field goal for the Hawks.
Smith didn't rush. Got his feet, got his balance. Good patience in the post by Smith.
The sophomore from Chicago via Fordham. Here's Belle attacking Smith. Smith goes straight up. Keep in mind, St. Joseph's second fewest fouls per game in the A-10. They play discipline on this end of the floor. The three outside, no good for Tyrell Ward. And how about chasing it down? Fighting for it.
Look at that hustle.
Kafik Myers. Back to Williford. His lay-in, crashing, can't get it. It's Smith. It's a tie-up, and that's going to be possession. I believe St. Joseph's. So timeout on the floor. Back and forth we go, but it's the Hawks with a slight 2-point advantage. St. Joseph's not kidding around in the early going. They lead by 2. Moments ago, Tiffany Blackman caught up with VCU head coach Phil Martelli Jr.
Coach, St. Joseph's have found their way in this game with the 3 ball, but you guys have found your way back in it. What do you like about how you guys fought?
Well, they made 4 threes in the first 4 minutes, and then we held them to 2 points, those 4. We just have to defend. It's about our defense, about being connected, guarding them the right way. When we do that, we turn them over a bunch of times, and we've been able to get out and transition ourselves.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
It's interesting, Mike, because while they've yielded those threes in the early going, as Coach pointed out, only 2 points over the last 4 minutes did VCU surrender. They've also forced 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
St. Joseph's out-rebounding VCU 12-7.
One thing that St. Joseph's is going to have to do is not overcompensate and get, lackadaisical with, hey, VCU's not making threes, we're good. Well, VCU also has 8 points in the paint right now, too. So they're getting into the paint at will. On-ball defense for St. Joseph's has to be a huge key in this next 4 to 5 minute stretch.
You mentioned the three-point shooting for VCU, just 1 for 7. The Rams trying to swiftly break the press. Ahmad Noel checks into the game for VCU. He has been playing tremendously well over the last couple of games. Really blossomed here in conference play. How about the drive by Ward, acrobatic take, and might have came up a little limpy on that left leg. He is holding that left leg right now. Can't tell if that was on the landing, if he landed on something near the basket. Fouls on Smith, his first.
It was a great attack because you see Simpson just gave him so much space.
It's Tyrell Ward, the transfer from LSU. Last 2 years at LSU had averaged about 9 points per game. So this is a player, Mike, that's accustomed to SEC basketball, the athleticism, the size that you see in that conference, and now he can translate his athleticism here to the A-10.
And the physicality, right? Used to getting bumped and then also being able to push back. Certainly a player who, is such a great Swiss Army knife defensively for VCU. Can guard the points, can guard a lot of power forwards in the Atlantic 10.
It's both free throws. VCU will certainly try to weaponize the free throw line. They are second in the conference in made free throws per game. They make about 19 plus per game. Williford, the freshman, so composed, trying to navigate traffic, somehow squirrels that one in.
I really like Williford's game, and he's going to be really good. You'll see him at the floor at the end of the game because of his defense.
Barry Evans buries the 3 in the corner. Second make for the Rams. They take the 1-point lead. The thing with VCU with this lineup on the floor, they have 5 3-point shooters on the court and can defend 1 through 5. Trapped in the corner, Myers somehow fishes it out.
Great straight travel there.
Shot clock at 8 already. Myers with the taller Djokovic. They're calling for a double team or trap. Myers gets by pump fake. Oh, left him in the dust and hit him with the fadeaway.
And just a really high IQ play to ball fake in that scenario because the whole crowd can feel it. You got to get a shot off, and so can the defense.
Hill off 3. That's back-to-back triples for the Rams. The lead is back to 2 for them.
41% from 3. The kid can really fill it up.
He's the team's leading scorer despite not starting. Has one clear role when he comes off the bench, though. That's to get buckets. Binkley trying to drive, muscle his way, spins right into Evans. Evans slaps it away. 6 on the shot clock. Myers, can he beat the buzzer again? Pass outside. Williford sent to the deck. Well defended from VCU.
Easier said than done, but St. Joseph's going to have to figure out what to do because VCU is switching all 5. They're switching the ball screens. You got a big on a guard. St. Joseph's hasn't been able to take advantage of.
Djokovic lines up a triple off target. Finkley fights off for the rebound.
Just felt like he thought about it a little too long. Didn't catch it clean.
One of those you either got to
think
shoot
long and miss wrong.
And just be etched in stone somewhere, my friend. Myers a drive again. A sweet finish with the left.
Feek Myers has made a couple of nice plays. You just tell that he's great at getting downhill. He's got that burst of speed.
5'10", but explodes to the cup. And then a deflected pass out of bounds. VCU ball on the sideline with 20 to shoot. Tracy and Ward will check in. One more look at the back and forth action here with Hill and his 3.
And Terrence Hill coming off just a simple ball screen. And then Myers doing such a good job. That's his 2nd time of getting into the paint and attacking. He used the pump fake first, and then a nice feathery finish in the paint.
Haskins also comes back into the game for St. Joseph's. Hill to Djokovic. Djokovic, he uses the pump fake. That'll be a goaltend. Aljaba caught that on its descent. So credit 2 points for Djokovic. That's now up to 7 this game. 3 of 4 shooting with 3 rebounds.
Yeah, it looked like it live. Yeah, he gets a piece of that.
Aljaba, though, the ability to pogo stick right back up, though, and challenge that shot after coming down on the bump fake.
And the importance of using shot fake anytime you're around Aljaba.
Toscano trying to work off ball. Myers again. But a break down the defense. 12 to shoot. Williford in the corner. 8 to shoot. Tracy checking him. Williford knocked off target. Whistled for the travel.
Virtually every single possession, St. Joseph's is going to have to take a shot, or they have been taking a shot at the end of the shot clock. Here's a VCU's defense. They don't give you anything early.
You mentioned the press, and maybe St. Joseph's needs to look at the pace in which they're trying to break that press. Hill rises for 3, careens off the backboard.
Coach Martelli did not like that.
Glover Toscano, the 1-2 step, my goodness, sprinting right through the defense. Ward trying to do it the other way. Myers pokes it away. It's a track meet. Back and forth we go. Hill with the steal of his own. Hill, the dish behind his back. Couldn't handle it, did Ward. This time, though, draws the foul on Aljaba. Timeout on the floor. We've got to let the brakes cool off here. Tied at 22 apiece in Richmond. St. Joseph's, VCU ramping it up. Tied at 22 apiece, 7:55 left here in the first half. Moments ago, Tiffany caught up with St. Joseph's head coach Steve Donahue.
Coach, what do you need to see from your team in terms of how they're handling the press?
Well, I think we've handled the pressure well, but unfortunately, I thought our poise at the rim wasn't great. I thought we had a lot of chances to score. That being said, they're doing a good job getting to the rim on us. We have to do a better job of staying connected in the half court.
Thanks, Coach.
I know you like close basketball games, Mike. In our first 12 minutes of action, we've had 5 lead changes, 5 ties, but a number that really jumps out to me. St. Joseph's has turned the ball over 7 times. VCU has only been able to capitalize on 2 points off of turnovers. That's not using the talents you've been given and being able to invest those well.
Typically, VCU is elite in transition, but the Hawks are doing a nice job, and we got to look at this again. I love the behind-the-head pass from Hill. No look. Oh, that is so good. Come on.
It sends Ward to the free throw line again. He'll have his 3rd and 4th attempts of the game as he rolls in the first one.
You don't see those kinds of passes
you don't
anymore, and I'm hoping that starts to come back a little bit. I'm okay with a little bit of showmanship.
Who did we watch growing up that really kick-started a lot of the no-look passes and fancy passes?
Oh, Jason Williams.
Absolutely.
100%.
Everyone wants to shoot like Curry, I get it, but we need to roll back some of those YouTube clips of Jason Williams and show their orange a little bit more. Here's Simpson, his pass deflected. Turnover yet again. VCU and Tracy in transition for corner three, in and out. Djokovic volleyballs it alive.
Back-to-back plays where Djokovic has kept the possession alive from tipping it out.
What a find to Tracy, open for three, swirls out a heartbreaker.
I think you call that a virtual assist. And coach's chart does. That's a great look.
Nice find by Myers. Oh, watch your head. There's a Hawk swooping in.
Speaking of passing, but the bounce pass done from Myers on the back cut. What a finish.
Haskins throws it down, and St. Joseph's making a statement in the early going here against VCU. The drive too high off the window, and how about Myers, the mighty Mike? Up ahead, poked loose out of bounds by Jennings. St. Joseph's ball.
Backdoor cut. You want to talk about thread the needle. Give me all that you got from Myers. And a tough finish. How fun has this game been?
Desir Haskins, the redshirt sophomore, had one of the all-time quotes. He's obviously been around the game of college basketball for a while, but just hasn't played a significant amount of time. He said, I feel like a rookie and a vet at the same time.
He was one of the best interviewees that we talked to this season. Out of any player, I loved talking to Desir Haskins.
Let's send it down to Tiffany for more.
We all left that meeting with him feeling the same way, so mature for his age, and he was coming off one of the best games of his career against St. Bonaventure, where he had a double-double, 16 points, 11 boards. But he said that he's learned so much from his time, just being able to observe this team, and that's why he feels like he's a rookie and a vet at the same time, guys.
And you said it perfectly right there, Tiffany, as his strong take is no good, but coming off that double-double performance, just another player that is stepping up. The three ball, no good, bounces off the back of the backboard.
You know what I really loved about Haskins as well, because Tiffany kind of pressed him on that. Like, what do you mean by that? You're a rookie and a vet. And he goes, honestly, everybody likes to talk. I really like to listen. I want to listen as much as I can. I thought, what a really mature.
You hear that all the time from this generation, don't you?
I hear that from you.
Can't help it. I can't turn it off. Up top. Oh, Ajabah closes the lid. This is a three-point shooting, dunking machine, St. Joseph's. And Jennings able to rattle one home from up top to tie it up at 26 apiece.
Give me all the early afternoon Atlantic 10 play you got. This is great.
A turnover, spills the basketball. Bell measures it down the floor and nearly poked away by Finkley. Lewis will try it, no good. Rebound to Haskins.
Coach Mantelli turns around and yells at his coaching staff. That was not the shot. You had numbers.
Nearly a kickball. Glover Toscano ruled an over. In fact, that is the 10th turnover of this half for St. Joseph's.
When you play against VCU, you can't just do normal passes.
Tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern, join the ladies of We Need to Talk as they preview UFC 324 and have special guest coach Bill Cowher join to discuss the NFL playoffs right here on CBS Sports Network. Have you been watching these NFL playoffs? I know you and Rothstein don't really tune in to anything else this time of year. Have you seen these games and these finishes?
I'm not supposed to say it on air. I have been watching some. It's John Rothstein. He writes my contracts. I'm not supposed to be watching it. There's a fine every time I'm watching football, not basketball.
You still didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I watched a little bit. Now you're going to get me in trouble. Let me see if I got $20 in my pocket. I'll check's in the mail, John.
All right, sounds good. One of the rare turnovers for VCU this half gives it back to St. Joseph. Here's Simpson. How about his horsepower down the floor? And that's going to be a foul as Bell comes crashing in, trying to challenge the would-be shot of Williford. On Bell, that's his first personal, just the third team foul. Correction, second team foul against VCU. They're playing a very clean defensive game so far. 22 to shoot for the Hawks. 5 assists, 11 made field goals. 4 threes in the first 4 minutes. They have yet to connect on one in the last 11 minutes.
Mismatch in the post.
Simpson trying to get to Ajobah. VCU was all over it. They snuff it out. Jennings weaving his way through traffic. Inside, it's Jennings down low, surrounded by 2, and that's off the foot. Or should I say a talent of a Hawk defender.
Jordan, you and I both saw that. We both saw the mismatch, but it was just telegraphed the whole time. You have to look away briefly or give yourself a better angle on that post-entry pass.
Evans, curling, catches, Williford on him. Evans, the footwork. Djokovic thought about the short jumper. Behind the back pass, a lot of passing results in no bucket as Evans can't find it.
Djokovic has some skill, doesn't he?
He does, but you feel like one of those, they should have shot it. There's maybe an extra pass there or two.
Tough, that's really 2 or 3 feet in between each other.
Great on ball defense from Jennings to cut off Myers. Myers to Ajobah. Going one-on-one, moves furniture out of the way and goes off the window.
You said it, clearing out the ISO post move. That was excellent footwork from Ajobah, getting his balance.
Every single player that has stepped on the floor for St. Joseph's has scored. Djokovic, oh, no way! Get the Windex out! Cleaning the glass is Ajobah. In transition, Haskins, the power jump stop, draws the foul. My goodness. Justice Ajobah, nothing gets by him on the offensive end, pounding the opposition. Then on the defensive end, it is some swift justice delivered at the top. St. Joseph's leads by 2. John Rothstein. Do you think Rothstein could even get a shot up against Okafor? Because right now, you think Ajobah blocked this ball, but no, not upon a closer look.
Should have been goaltending. Should have been called a goaltending, but you can't go back to the monitor and re-referee the game. You can change a call that was made. Because no call was made, you can't go back and alter that.
So St. Joseph's has made 5 of the last 6 field goals. VCU has missed 8 of their last 9. It's a scoring drought of nearly 2 minutes for VCU. And so offensively for VCU, they have shot 16 threes in this game already to just 11 two-point field goals. You want to see more of a balance there for the Rams.
They're getting a lot of three-point looks in transition, though, and they're just not going in. I would say there have been 2 legitimately poor shot selections, 4 three-point shots taken. It's not like it's been 5 or 6 really bad shots. They like to shoot threes in transition, and they have been making threes in transition. I think there's really only 2 in this game so far, Jordan, that I would count as bad shots.
How about the efficient offense for St. Joseph's? They came in shooting 42%. That was in the bottom 40 of all of college basketball. This afternoon, 52% here in the first half as they maintain a 3-point lead.
And being unaffected by the 11 turnovers that they've given up.
Both teams sort of have a case as to why they should either be leading or back in this game. Now you see the zone thrown out by St. Joseph's.
Yeah, zone for St. Joseph's.
And it is beaten by a long 3. Terrence Hill casts one in.
Second 3 of the game for Hill Jr.
The energy and minutes that Myers has given St. Joseph's off the bench, I feel are one of the big differences here in the first half.
Had Simpson on the back cut.
Three-pointer in the corner. Ajobah claims it. Can't get the putback, though. That's his 6th rebound. Tracy nearly poked away by Myers. They whip it around the horn. 3-ball in the corner. The gamble does not pay off. Jennings cans it.
Myers went for the steal off the bounce, which was able to create an extra easy passing look for VCU and put St. Joseph's in a scramble mode.
VCU 2 for their last 2 from 3. It's a 3-point lead. Myers, the pocket pass. Ajobah somehow hung on to that. Whips it up top. Shot clock at 6. Myers to the corner. It's Haskins attacking. Haskins with the left. No good. Rebound controlled by Evans. Evans to Belle. Hill, oh, he wanted that one possibly. Retrieves the dribble.
That was good gap help by Haskins there, slowing downhill.
Jennings draws to Hill. This time right into the paint, calmly scoops it, can't get it. Belle, offensive rebound, Belle right back in. It's an 8-0 run for the Rams. You could say this might be the most important offensive possession coming up for St. Joseph's. And Steve Donahue wants a timeout. This is the loudest this crowd has been in the Siegel Center so far as the Rams are trying to pull away. 5-point lead for VCU. Five-point lead for VCU, and this was spurred by a gamble that did not pay off for St. Joseph's this 8-0 run.
It's all about transition offense for VCU, but you're going to see Evans gamble just a little bit right there. Right here, he gambles, goes for the steal. Tracy's guarded well, but because he doesn't get it, one pass, extra pass, clean look from three.
It's interesting, you talk about gambling on defense. I always felt it was okay to gamble when I was on my way to my position, but I should never gamble out of position.
That's right, and that was overhelp. Simpson was in good defensive position there. You got to trust.
Evans gets the branches up, the deflection, and another turnover for St. Joseph's. Tracy was calling for it. Glover Toscano quickly closes out. This time pokes it away. Glover Toscano, head down, hustling down the floor. Acrobatic take. Falls on his backside. He's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. And I'll tell you what, he has got one thing on his mind in transition. Foul is on Tracy. His first personal. 14th foul against VCU.
Glover Toscano has good strength to his game, but when he's in transition, Jordan, seeing him live this season, he just can glide. He's just so smooth.
First free throw, no good. St. Joseph's now 1 for 3 from the free throw line. And Glover Toscano, it's his first year at St. Joseph's after 1 year at St. John's, where he averaged just 2 points a game. He's now averaging 15.8 points per game. That uptick in production, exactly what you're looking for when you go to the quarter.
Yeah, he's got 3 20-point games this season. 7th in the Atlantic 10 in scoring.
Misses both free throws, though. 1:15 left here in this first half. We have seen a handful of lead changes and ties. A back and forth game, but it's currently an 8-0 run still for VCU. St. Joseph's goes back to man-to-man.
This is where he's really good.
Djokovic patiently pounding the rock. A flurry of fakes goes up with the left. Ajoba all over it. Well defended on the post without fouling. Under 45 left to play. Glover Toscano, the drive, the dish deflected. Hill able to save it. Rifles it over to Jennings. And now it's a 7-second differential. Djokovic pushed from behind. That's going to be a foul on Finkley. Just the 15th foul against St. Joseph's.
It's a good recognition by Jennings because Djokovic had the mismatch on Finkley down low. That's an easy foul call. Finkley pushes him in the back. Djokovic sells it enough.
And in the grand scheme of things, not a bad foul at all. You don't send him to the line. It's your first personal. We're going to step aside for 30 seconds. VCU, one more possession here to close out the half. Count plus. 7-second differential between shot and game clock. Looks like VCU is going to just hold for a quality look here. Evans up top. They eye the shot clock. Here comes Belle to set the screen. Hill with another one. Evans the drive to the corner. Jennings. Power jump stop. Back to Evans. He can't get it in. And now St. Joseph's has about 7 seconds to the last shot of the half. Simpson to the corner. Glover Toscano blocked by Tracy. Tracy will step out of bounds and take it. Officials are going to give maybe a second here for St. Joseph's to inbound it and try to get one more attempt off. But how about the defense from Tracy?
That was a phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal, show of hustle from Tracy, closing out to block this shot because he was way behind. Looked full extension. And that is so good. Tracy had to come sprinting over. You love playing with guys that will give that kind of effort. It gives your team so much confidence, and those effort plays, Jordan, I've always felt are contagious.
I was just about to say the same word as well, too. You see that as a player, and all of a sudden you realize you've got to ratchet it up. So the officials here put 1.8 seconds back on the clock for St. Joseph's. They will have to inbound it from a bit of an odd spot on the floor.
I like to call those plays "let's go" plays, because after your teammate makes a play like that, everybody on the court on the bench side, let's go. But you need those. You need those types of plays. It doesn't have to be made shots or dunks or great passes all the time. The effort plays.
What does St. Joseph's go with here? VCU does have a foul to give, but you have to be careful with the new continuation rules.
You got time for one dribble and then a shot. That's the internal clock.
Simpson to inbound. It's Finkley. He gets a shot up, tries to go glass, can't get it. And that'll do it. VCU closes the half on an 8-0 run. They lead 34-29. Hill, Bell, and Jennings all lead the way with 6 points apiece for the Rams. And it's Simpson with 6 points, a pair of threes to pace St. Joseph. St. Joseph's with 13 turnovers. And let's send it down to Tiffany Blackman.
Terrence, the hustle by Tracy at the end of the half, 13 turnovers for St. Joseph's. What have you liked about the defensive pressure?
We're just really being aggressive on the ball. We came into the game plan, trying to take their shooters away. I think it's being effective right now.
6.6 assists. What's working for you in this offense?
Just getting my teammates going. I know the game plan is going to be around me, so I just want to get my teammates going to the second half and open up for me.
Thanks, Terrence.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. 8 steals for VCU. They forced 13 turnovers. Stick around. We'll have AT&T at the half as the crew will get you caught up on everything in the world of college basketball. But here in Richmond, it's VCU with a 5-point advantage. Jordan Penn alongside Mike O'Donnell. Tiffany Blackman will join us here in just a moment. Well, Mike, St. Joseph's scored 12 points in the first 4 minutes. Since then, VCU held them to 17 points, forced 13 turnovers in the first half.
VCU started to get hot from three, and especially in transition. You'll see them in the fast break get out and run. Some of it was off of turnovers, some of it was just off of rebounds. But the ability for St. Joseph's of not to convert once they break the press, taking quick shots, that's where VCU started to get out, run in transition, knock down threes. Something to watch for. St. Joseph's has to do a better job of converting around the rim. They're just 5 of 13 on their layups in that first half.
11-1 differential in fast break points, 13 turnovers for St. Joseph's. Their high in a game this season is 19. Tiffany Blackman had a chance to catch up with the Hawks head coach Steve Donahue at half.
Yeah, Jordan, I did speak with him, and I talked to him about how they are winning that rebound battle, but at the same time, once they get the ball, I asked him if he wanted to see anything differently with the pace because of the turnovers. He told me he likes when they are penetrating the paint, doing a good job of that, but that it's been poor ball toughness and decision-making that have cost those turnovers. So now in this half, he's challenged them to make better decisions, guys.
Well, that's a great decision from Simpson. It's the first 3 for St. Joseph since the 16-minute mark in the first half. Desperately needed, makes it a 2-point game just like that. VCU had balanced scoring, 2 players with 5 points, 3 with 6. Here's Evans, the response, no good. Loose ball on the floor, hacky sacked up into the hands of Evans. Over to Lewis. Here's Jennings, the drive, up and under. What a smooth finish.
I mean, how good was that? 2 back-to-back great plays by both teams to start off this second half.
VCU shot just 36% from the field in the first half. The Rams,
Mismatch down low,
certainly better capable of that. And it's one thing you point out, the mismatches you'll see oftentimes because of the switching defense. And how about Finkley attacking the cup and into the free throw line?
Watch the zoom action, but they reject the zoom screen and allow Simpson to pop out for 3. Really well executed by St. Joseph's. Catch and go from Jennings. You want to talk about hang time, tough reverse finish.
I'll tell you what, there's some meetings where I wish I could reject the zoom screen. Finkley to the free throw line.
Your entire
job in existence in college basketball was a screener. You shouldn't reject any screens.
That's all I was good for. That's why we would have paired well together, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, please screen for me. I will happily shoot the ball.
Anything that lands in your hands.
That's right.
So St. Joseph's just 3 of 6 from the free throw line this afternoon. Here's Tracy, whips a pass to Evans. Evans double down low. Djokovic loses the handle. Loose ball on the floor, and it's Haskins that bends down and snatches it. Haskins in transition. Nice find off the glass for 2. It is Simpson in transition. He's got 5 points this half already.
Just love the activity from Haskins. He brings so much energy.
Simpson the first to double figures, and then Ajaba. Another block, his 3rd of the game.
Out in transition, Haskins gets the loose ball. Little hezzy move. Step over, and a good decision of dumping it to Simpson. Ajaba with another block. Why are we even trying against Ajaba? You should.
He does a really good job of defense without fouling. Just 1 foul in the first half. Here's Lewis working against Glover Toscano. Tracy off the bounce, tries to challenge Ajaba. Nobody having success. 4th block, Simpson up ahead, glides to the cup, and the Hawks have taken the lead.
Again, the throw ahead to Simpson out in transition. Back-to-back plays of where the Hawks looked very connected offensively.
Ajaba has been a delete key here in the second half. Tracy, he'll try his cast from up top, no good. Finkley, big-time board. St. Joseph's has come out the gate outscoring VCU 8-2. What a flying Glover Toscano fouled.
I mean, it's a valiant effort by Tracy, but you want to talk about perfect walling up with 2 hands. And then if you're out and running in transition, and guess who it is? It's Simpson again getting the loose ball and throwing it ahead. Excuse me, it's Haskins again getting the loose ball and throwing it ahead to Simpson. I just love how Ajaba can block shots so consistently without fouling. We asked Coach Donahue about that, and he had a really interesting response. He goes, his emotional intelligence is so high. And I had never heard any coach talk about a player, a good shot blocker, in regards to high emotional intelligence. But it makes a lot of sense. When you're going to block shots, you really have to be at a steady pace mentally. You can't rush, you'll be too early. You can't be hesitant, you'll be too late. He's just so poised in a shot blocking standpoint. I had to give him a lot of credit.
He's also in position so often. And another missed free throw for St. Joseph's. They came into this game shooting 74% from the free throw line. They're under 50 so far. Here's Haskins in transition. What a find from Glover Toscano. An 11-2 burst to start the second half. And St. Joseph's turns a 5-point deficit into a 4-point lead. VCU needs a timeout here at home. St. Joseph's, they've won 3 straight. Can they make it 4? 40-36 St. Joseph's. It's an 11-2 run to start the second half. A big reason for that. Justice Ajaba has stopped everything near the rim.
Ajaba is on his way to a double-double, but maybe a rebounds blocks double-double. He's got 7 rebounds and 4 monster blocks this afternoon. What a defensive performance from Ajaba.
The 4 blocks matches season high. However, the single game record for St. Joseph's, that's Rodney Blake that had 12 blocks in a game in 1987 against Cleveland State. What were you doing in 87?
I was 2 years old. Probably trying to get shots up in the backyard.
Well, now VCU, they've got to find something on offense because right now they're 0 for 2 from 3 to start this half.
And that's why Terrence Hill Jr. is in the game.
The Rams shooting
right on cue.
30% from 3. Can Hill help the cause? No. And it's a long rebound that bounces out of bounds. And 3 consecutive stops for the Hawks.
A good closeout that time because Hill Jr. initially came off clean. Kind of felt like Hill Jr. potentially could have curl-cutted that instead of just hunting for threes.
Almost predetermined where he was going to shoot it from versus how the defense was going to react. Now a chance for St. Joseph's to build upon this lead. They have played perfect offensive basketball to start the second half. Haskins whips it over to Williford. 10 to shoot. Glover Toscano patiently on the wing, gets a screen from Ajabah. Crowded situation. Ball bounces loose. And with 3 seconds left to shoot, it will be the Hawks' ball.
You got 2 dribbles and a shot. I always like to talk about that internal clock that players need to have. With 3 seconds left, average player, each dribble is 1 second. As a fan, when you're watching, that's what you should look for.
Awkward spot to inbound it from as well, too. Glover Toscano trying to get free. It's Ajabah. Quick handoff. Simpson. Rise and fire. Oh, the bank is open here on MLK Day in Richmond.
Even if they didn't get that to go in, it was still a really well-executed play.
Largest lead of the game. It's an 11-0 run now. Tracy poked at in the paint. VCU, can they find something to quench this drought? They do. They go to Belle.
And shooting the 3 well all season long. Michael Belle.
Michael Belle now a team-high 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field. Haskins, the response, no good. Ajabah pops it free. Catches it in the post. Tracy trying to poke at it. Double team shows Ajabah right through the contact. Shows Tracy where the weight room is, and he'll head to the line. St. Joseph's, the Hawks making a statement here in the second half. They had 29 points in the first half. They've scored 16 in the first 4 and change, thanks to Simpson going off the glass. As we take one more look, it's been that kind of half for the Hawks. 6-point lead for St. Joseph's. They have outscored VCU 16-5 in the second half. Tiffany, you were in the VCU huddle. What did you discover? I think Tiffany is still listening in on that huddle, and obviously a lot for VCU to dissect here for the moment, because right now the Rams had a 5-point lead at half, and that has evaporated. And now, Tiffany, you've got your report from the huddle.
What do you should have me now?
All right, what do you got for us?
Adrian Tracy was just so emphatic, and he told this team that they were playing soft. He wants better effort out of them defensively. Mike, when your teammate challenges you like that, what are you going to do? How are you going to respond?
First of all, I'd be the one that'd be yelling at Jordan Kent for being too soft.
Whoa.
Number one.
Whoa.
When it comes from one of your leaders, it always matters more. And I think in this VCU team is not a team that plays soft throughout the season. That's not what they do. But there is a lack of defensive effort and commitment to guarding the ball. And that's a major issue right now that needs to get fixed for VCU.
This game is too good for me to try and defend myself as far as not being a soft player.
You weren't. Yeah, you weren't. You were tough as nails, Jordan. I'll give that to you.
I appreciate it, Belle. How about his production? He can shoot it. He's at 5 points to try and keep VCU within an arm's length, and that's going to be a foul on Belle. And keep in mind, Tracy has 3 fouls right now as well, too.
For St. Joseph's, though, how good has Derek Simpson been in this game? 16 points already in 21 minutes. He hasn't missed a shot. 6 for 6 from the field, including 4 of those from 3.
When we talked to Steve Donahue, he said he is the on-floor leader for this team. Glover Toscano tries to let it fly, no good. In transition as Jennings almost had it poked away. Ward, the drive, goes right by Ajabah with the left hand, a feathery finish.
He had to finish wide on that. It was the only way to get that shot off on Ajabah. Bad spacing.
Ripped away by Jennings, then a foul on Glover Toscano. That'll be his second personal.
Simpson over-dribbled and put Glover Toscano in no man's land in the deep corner. Was an easy trap opportunity, nowhere to go. And then Glover Toscano picks up the foul.
I almost feel like Ward might have pushed him into Jennings possibly, but either way, Kafik Myers will check in for Glover Toscano. Keep in mind, Myers brought tremendous energy in the first half, defensively and offensively. Here's Hill, goes right by Simpson, over the hands of Ajuba. Altitude adjustments on the last couple of field goal attempts for VCU has got them within 1 point, and it's a timeout, St. Joseph's. Wondered, would VCU continue to challenge Ajuba? And you look at the last 2 lay-ins for VCU, and this one, it's Hill.
Freeze it right there. There was a screen that happened, and he just totally went past it. And Hill Jr. just got downhill, and his ability to finish over the top, really smart. That guard-on-guard screen right before that drive was a go screen. It wasn't a hard screen that was set. It was designed to just run past Hill Jr.'s defender to give Hill Jr. an opportunity to get downhill.
It's a 6-0 run for VCU over the last minute and 9 seconds. Hill with 8 points. We mentioned the team's leading scorer that comes off the bench. And now momentum swings in favor of the Rams. Here's a quick press break. Simpson up top. Whoa, soaring through the sky like a hawk does. It's Haskins with the slam. That's how you break the press. Jennings walled off by Myers. That's going to be an offensive foul against Jennings. Myers loves the call from the official. Second foul on Jennings.
You break the press, get it to the middle of the floor. Quick pass, throw ahead, or there may be 2 dribbles on that possession before they executed that alley-oop. My goodness, Simpson is having an awesome game, and Haskins as well.
Haskins at 7 points. He'll take a seat on the bench to catch a rest. Coming in, Jaden Smith to spell him. He's back to 3 for St. Joseph's. They've won 3 straight games after a players and coaches meeting where they really wanted to utilize more of their athleticism, and it's been on display here this afternoon. VCU sitting at 12-6, fighting for an at-large bid potentially this year. Smith fouled on the floor, and that is already the 6th team foul for VCU. Keep in mind, they had just 4 team fouls in the first half total.
Right, and St. Joseph's is shooting 77% from the field in the second half.
It's the first foul on Ward.
Just attack the rim here.
Simpson, nice find to the corner. Williford rains it in. Big 3 for the freshman.
Back-to-back assists for Derek Simpson. Good drive and kick. They've got VCU in constant scramble mode right now.
And the match on the other end, it's the man keeping VCU in this game. Belle with a 3, and then we have a whistle as the ball goes through the hoop. A clarification on this. So the 3-pointer is good.
We have a delay of game warning, I believe.
We saw an animated response from that VCU bench. It's a clarification on that play-by-play here at the stat book in just a moment. I think you're right. It might have been a delay of game. Either way, the intensity of this game continues to ramp up. Smith nearly loses it. It's Belle that claims it up. He's doing it on both ends, and then a foul on Smith, so he compounds the mistake. How good has Michael Belle been here over the last couple of minutes?
There is no question that Belle has been the guy for VCU in this game. So we've talked about the offense, the shots that he's making, but making plays defensively as well.
Belle with 8 of VCU's 14 points here in the second half.
Oh, good hustle.
Hill, nice find. Who else? Ding, ding, ding. Belle now 10 points in the second half. Here come the Hawks. It's a career-high 16 points for Belle. Strong drive. Oh, it's beaten off the glass. Belle once again answers it. Diving on the floor. The Rams, their hooves plopping down the floor. Noel for three in the lead. Batted around. That's going to be a foul on Evans over the back. It's the 7th team foul against VCU.
Terrence Hill doing a great job putting his defender in hostage dribble situation, and the dime and a half. Look at that, hostage dribble, no look dime. He has had some big time passes. Watch this block from Belle. Yeah, what else can he do this afternoon?
Career high 16 points for Belle. In his 3 seasons at VCU, he has never missed a game. That's 91 straight games. Been an Iron Man for the Rams. Came into this game averaging just under 7 points per game. The 7 for 9. And the sole reason you could argue VCU is only down by 1.
There's a reason why Michael Belle is always in the right place at the right time, and that's because of his intelligence. Coach Martelli Jr. told us at shoot-around, he says he's our most intelligent off-the-ball mover on the team.
Officials are at the replay monitor, and they're looking to see who's shooting the free throw here because there were 2 Hawks players in on the rebound. Let's take one more look. Who do you think had their back that went over? That's clearly Finkley.
Absolutely Finkley.
That's Finkley.
100%.
And that's the right call also. So Finkley is an 83% free throw shooter. Myers, who is also in on the action, is a 57% free throw shooter, but we believe it's Finkley, but the officials are still over there right now taking a look.
Look at a chance to look at the time as well.
And it's Finkley that'll be shooting. We talk about rebounding in this game. St. Joseph's plus 10 on the glass over VCU. And Finkley hits the first. But keep in mind, 12:06 left, and St. Joseph's is in the bonus already. Normally it's VCU shooting the lion's share of free throws in a game. St. Joseph's out shooting them 10-6 at the free throw line right now. As Finkley hits 2 big free throws to calm this crowd down.
If I'm the point guard for St. Joseph's, I'm telling all my guys, don't take a bad shot. If you're stuck, attack the rim and draw a foul.
Is there any, and that's a travel on Evans, yep. So timeout on the floor, back and forth we go. VCU, they're 6 for their last 7. It's Belle with 10 points in the second half. But St. Joseph's still leads by 3. St. Joseph's lead with 11:54 left in this game. Let's send it over to Tiffany Blackman with more.
Yeah, we welcome you back, Jordan, with this box score here. You might remember this from 20 years ago to the day. You led your Oregon team in scoring with 13 points against Washington State. You had a double-double, as a matter of fact. So I know Mike called you soft earlier, but this is proof. You got game, you're not soft.
No, it is true. Don't say anything. This is not your time to talk right now. We're celebrating you. But I got Ken Palm pulled up here right now. I just want to let you know that season as well for you. You were 213th in the nation in offensive rebound percentage. You got to have a lot of heart and hustle for the offensive rebounding.
Well, what's funny is you mentioned the word soft. We won on a buzzer beater that game. I got hit in the head with a soft pretzel at the end of that
Malik
game.
Hairston, right?
Malik Hairston hit the game winner. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But you go up to Pullman.
You got hit in the head with a soft pretzel.
I had a double-double
you
there.
You can't tell people that.
Well, it's the only thing soft about me is the type of pretzels I eat.
Touche, my friend.
But that same
Touche.
year also had 2 touchdowns against Washington State.
Oh, excuse me. Look at that, getting ready. Fix the tie. You know, you're coming on camera and we're talking about you. Big time stuff. Wow.
Oh my gosh. All I know
How great was that?
I would have loved to play with you, Mike O'Donnell. I would have been setting screens for you all day long. Every offensive rebound kick out would have gone to Mod for 3, my friend.
No, you better believe it. And that's why I would have loved to play with you.
It hasn't really been that long since we played basketball. That's the one thing that concerns me. Let's get back to the youthful, invigorated players on the floor here. 3-point lead for St. Joseph's. Shot clock winding down. Here's Simpson, draws the foul. What a smart play with his team in the bonus.
Well, we talked about it, right? If you're stuck, if you're not sure, there's no reason to take a contested jumper right now. Attack the rim. Worst case scenario, if you miss a shot, you got a chance for an offensive rebound, but the likelihood that you're getting fouled increases at the end of the shot clock.
Simpson with 16 points. The transfer from Rutgers led the team in assists and steals a couple years ago. His dad Ron played at Rider and is the program leader in points per game, averaged 21 points per game, so the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. He is now up to a game high 18 points. Perfect from the field, perfect from the free throw line. But most importantly for him, a 5-point lead for St. Joseph's with under 12 to play. VCU has won 9 out of the last 10 over St. Joseph's. Hill, kick out, Ward, wide open look, doesn't get any better than that.
Good spacing from VCU on that possession. They ran zoom, didn't get anything out of it on the right side of the floor, swung it, and then Hill Jr. attacked for the kick out.
VCU shooting 43% from three here in the second half. Myers over to Simpson. Simpson draws two, elevates his first miss of the game. Bell trying to stay in bounds, and that's going to be a foul, and they're going to get Ajubah. That'll be his second, third-team foul.
And that felt like the first rushed shot for Simpson. You know, I mean, and the shot that he banked in at the end of the shot clock, I'm not counting that as a rush shot because you had to shoot it quickly. But that felt a little forced. He's been so good this game. You know, you got one or two. I mean,
yeah, you felt two defenders came to help on it.
Yeah.
One more look here, Mike.
Yeah, there was enough time, and there's enough time in the shot clock to pull that out or drive and kick. Good help side defense.
It'll be interesting how he finishes this game. Phil Martelli Jr. said, we have to wear Simpson out. We know he's going to play about 36 minutes with our deep backcourt. Hill takes the contact. No whistle. Offensive rebound to Noel. He nearly gets an and one opportunity. Let's see who it's against. It's against Ajubah. That's his third personal.
Now, will Coach Donahue trust Ajubah to stay in the game with 3 fouls? Oh man, Jordan, there's not that much there at all.
What would you do in this situation?
Yeah, I don't agree with that call at all.
But do you keep Ajubah on the floor? He's going to need a rest naturally at some point.
Yes, I'm keeping him on the floor because that foul wasn't actually a foul. It's not as if he's playing out of control, that he had 2 quick fouls and was playing out of control. I think I would trust one of the best shot blockers in the country.
For VCU, on the other hand, you start to attack him more, knowing that he could possibly get his 4th foul. There's still a lot of time left in this game.
Depends on who's attacking. If it's a post, yes. If it's a guard, no. Ajubah's winning that battle against a guard or a wing.
Ties it up at 55 apiece. St. Joseph's has gone without a field goal for over the last 3 minutes. Here's Simpson. He'll take the screen from Ajubah, kicks it to the corner. Haskins back to Simpson. He'll line up a triple off target. He's now missed his last 2. Tracy in transition, and that's going to be a travel. You saw the help defense sprint and cover. Well, Saturday night at 6 Eastern, these St. Joseph's Hawks head back to their nest as they host the Dayton Flyers right here on CBS Sports Network. Dayton, another team with incredible playmaking ability, especially with Bennett at the guard position. We saw them in person earlier this year.
You and I love Bennett's game. You want to talk about a tough, hard-nosed point guard? Can give you 5 or 6 threes, 5 or 6 assists. I mean, he is so tough.
And also finished well at the cup. Had a last-second lane to get the win on the road against Loyola Chicago.
Good
Williford in and out dribble with the right hand. Djokovic stays right in front of him. Ward nearly pokes it away. Ward is on the floor. And diving for it is Djokovic. But he rolled out of bounds. That'll be St. Joseph's ball. And the question is the shot clock at 30? Or are they going to reset it?
But the efforts from Tyrell Ward. We've seen multiple big-time effort plays from Ward there.
They put 8 on the shot clock, so no clear possession for VCU. One more look here.
Whistle blows. Yeah, whistle blows at 8.
The question is, did Djokovic have enough of a possession to reset the shot clock?
They're going to review it.
He dives on it, turns, but I think he was out of bounds before he had clear possession. Obviously, St. Joseph's would love to have more time on the shot clock here. Here's one more look. He's got 2 hands on the ball as he rolls out of bounds.
And the refs are going to pay attention to the clock on this one, because this is not, this is something that you think, well, why are we reviewing this? Well, you can review. It's referee's discretion from a timing and clock standpoint on when you can go to the review monitor.
See, he's out of bounds.
He's out.
There.
Yeah.
Djokovic dives. He's turning. He has 2 hands. I think his back is out of bounds by the time he gets 2 hands on the ball.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a side here, I'm thinking 8 seconds.
And
on
the hand goes up. Yeah. I think that looks right.
And that's what they're going to stick with here.
Yeah.
So St. Joseph's.
By the way, I'm remiss if I didn't say the referees they're not going back and they're looking at who did it go out of bounds off of, because that's a rule change in college basketball this season. They're not going to review that, but they can have discretionary to go to the monitor to go check the timing of a clock.
So 8 seconds to shoot for the Hawks. Simpson to inbound, back to him off the handoff. Simpson loses it off his knee, crashes off the glass. Here comes VCU with numbers. Hill up ahead, Tracy for 3, in and out. Oh, they're giving the Rams a 3-point lead. It's Myers up ahead. Haskins outruns the defense, can't get it. A heartbreaker at the cup. Noel cross court fine. Djokovic to the corner. Tracy. And slow it down inside. Djokovic walls off, slapped away by Simpson. The quick hands. Myers, what a find. Ajuba fouled as he goes up. Couldn't control the ball. So now he goes to the free throw line for 2.
That was awesome spacing by St. Joseph's in semi-transition. Ajuba executes the drag screen to perfection in semi-transition. There's enough space for him to hard roll to the rim. Another great pass by Myers. Man, he's had some passes today. Just outstanding.
The fact that you had Simpson on that opposite wing, you really can't afford to help off a Simpson situation with the way that he's been shooting. 4 or 5 from 3. Here's Justice Ajuba from Nigeria, the transfer from Harvard.
Well, you bring up a really good point, Jordan. That's what Myers is reading. Point guards are so good nowadays. They're worried about the 3rd level of the pick and roll. The first level's your guy. Second level's the hedge help, the ball screeners, defender. But if you're a good ball handler, you're not even worried about those first 2 levels. You're looking at the tag, a.k.a. help defender on the baseline, what he's doing.
Such a good point. I remember covering Damian Lillard for several years, and he was going.
Oh my gosh!
That's not a name drop. It's just a player that we both respect. He said, "I stopped even looking at the first primary defenders. Yeah. I was always looking at the help defender." Just goes to show you how much this game has changed. Hill stepping into the 3, no good. Oh my goodness! Simpson blocked. Ajuba, what a response to mute this crowd. Everyone here left speechless after Djokovic scraped the clouds for a putback slam. Jennings out to Belle. He's been the hot hand, has Belle here in the second half. Jennings, strong drive. Oh, 2 Hawks get all over it. Here comes Simpson. Up ahead, Haskins. Crossover dribble. He's knocked askew. The Rams wanted to travel. This crowd raining down boos on the officials, but it's a foul that'll send Haskins to the line.
Coach Martelli Jr. cannot believe it. He is beside himself right now.
He wanted a foul on VCU's end, but here it is, jump stop. He almost can't land because Djokovic collides with his foot before the jump stop.
If you're going to call a foul, I don't think the foul should have been on Djokovic. There was a grabbing of Haskins' arm right before that.
Haskins misses the lay-in. They're going to say...
Well, it's 2 shots because it's 10 fouls. Yeah, it's on the floor, but it's 2 shots because of VCU's 10 team fouls.
So Phil Martelli Jr. And keep in mind, played for his father, Phil Martelli, who was the longtime coach of St. Joseph's. There he is. What a great guy. I called a game with him last year. Both of his sons coaching on this VCU team. Phil Jr. was a walk-on on that terrific team. And for more on that, Tiffany, I know you've got this story covered. What do you have?
Yeah, well, we got to talk with Coach. He was telling us that having his dad here is just so special. And he pointed out how, you know, his dad's watching him in the very same stands that he once watched his dad coach. He also told us that one of the things that his father does is not give him advice about X's and O's, but about just people and how to get the best out of your players and truly connecting with them. That's what's really resonated with him. We saw that from him at his practice with the guys yesterday.
Yeah, you mentioned the way that he treats players has changed, and right now he is treating Belle with tremendous respect. Belle with a dozen here in the second half, ties it up at 59 apiece. Simpson weaving his way through traffic, initiating the half-court offense for the Hawks. Under 8 minutes left to play, tied at 59 apiece. Both these teams desperate for a win here in the A-10. Ajuba leads Simpson with the pass. Glover Toscano, his 3, no good. Rebound Bell, and that's going to be a foul on Haskins as he was trying to poke it away.
Wow, how great has this game been, Jordan?
It's been a terrific Monday afternoon run. Djokovic throwing it down with intensity. We are tied at 59 apiece. Tied at 59 apiece with 7:17 left in this one. St. Joseph's at VCU. It has been a tremendous game thus far. St. Joseph's has won 3 straight in the A-10. They're starting 0-2. VCU coming off a win against Rhode Island. As we take a look at our AT&T game summary, and what jumps out at you when you look at how these 2 teams have gone toe-to-toe here?
I think the most surprising thing is this, is St. Joseph's has 16 turnovers, but VCU hasn't been able to react to those appropriately in transition. So they've turned the ball over, but it hasn't been that bad and much of an issue for them.
How about the big 3 in the A-10 this season?
Well, St. Louis is in a potential for an at-large bid, and CBS Sports Bracketology has them as a 6th seed. They're 17-1. And VCU is at 55 of a net ranking as well. When you look at George Mason, job that Tony Skinn has done. He had 2 quad 1 opponents left. Those are the last 2 games of the season at VCU, home versus St. Louis. George Mason 17-1.
Ward blocked. Ward one more time fighting through traffic, gets fouled. And you see the intensity ratcheting up between these 2 teams.
Jordan, I really think, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that foul's on Haskins, not Ajuba. That would have been Ajuba's 4th foul. It's Haskins. That's just his 2nd foul. But go ahead with your point here as Ward heads to the free throw line to try and give VCU the lead.
Just wanted to paint a very brief, bigger picture. You know, the odds of the A-10 getting at least 2 bids in the NCAA tournament is very high because of St. Louis and their, you know, the probability that they could be an at-large team. There's 3 or 4 other teams, including Dayton, George Mason, VCU, that could absolutely win the A-10 tournament.
Well, remember that A-10 tournament is a crapshoot sometimes. You've had 7 different champions over the last 8 years. VCU is the only team to win multiple conference tournament titles over the last 8 years. 1-point lead for VCU, under 7 left to play. St. Joseph's just won for their last 7 and a turnover out of bounds. I was just about to say, they have 17 for the game, but keep in mind 13 of those came in the first half.
That zoom action was defended really well by VCU. Good job of fighting over the screens.
Steve Donahue telling his players to get wide in their defensive stance. What a find to Djokovic! Oh my goodness!
What?
Crunched at the rim! Ajubah! I tell you what.
This is an absurd block. This is an absurd block. My goodness, the timing, the hands, doing that with 3 fouls. Ajubah likes his chicken spicy. Wow.
A hot one there. 6 blocks for Ajubah. And he's doing this with 3 fouls, keep in mind. 10 points, 6 blocks to go along with 8 rebounds. He has saved St. Joseph's on defense so many times this afternoon. Jennings for 3, it's good! Huge 3 and a 4-point lead for VCU. Simpson, no good. I've got to ask you, Mike O'Donnell. Phil Martelli Jr. said it earlier in this game. Will the depth wear down St. Joseph's? And Tiffany, I can hardly hear myself right now. What's it like for you over there?
Yeah, it's a struggle for me to hear as well. And something that we saw at St. Joseph's practice was them bringing their own speaker in to replicate the crowd noise that they would possibly hear today. And it is deafening at times, guys. And, you know, Terrence Hill Jr. did tell us that it gives them so much energy when they had their crowd into this game.
Hill, the hezzy, the pass down low. That's going to be a foul as Djokovic attacks the cup. Who is this on? It's going to be against. Here's Williford reached in there.
You got to trust Ajubah there. He was in position to, at a minimum, just protect the rim. And he had 2 hands up. Watch Ajubah. He was in perfect position to defend that. As you call that, a bailout foul. Guards have to trust Ajubah. He's one of the best shot blockers in the country.
It's the 3rd foul on Williford as he heads to the bench. Williford from nearby Charlottesville, Virginia, has a contingent of about 25 people here checking him out. And right now his Hawks are down 4. Djokovic misses both free throws.
77% free throw shooting.
Keep in mind, VCU came into this game hitting 19.9 free throws per game. They've only made 7 so far this afternoon. Finkley nearly lost the dribble, saves it. Simpson, shot clock at 8. Simpson caught in midair, a smooch off the window for 2.
That's 20 for Simpson. Had a couple bad misses before that shot went in.
St. Joseph's now shooting 53% from the field here in the second half. Hill to Belle. Belle has cooled off lately.
Close to an offensive foul there.
Hill spinning, tries to shake Finkley. Tough shot, but a foul on the follow-through. Finkley can't believe it. That'll be his 2nd foul, and it sends Hill to the line. It's an 88% free throw shooter. And it's interesting now for St. Joseph's, the one thing they do arguably better than anybody else in this conference is not foul.
Yeah.
They've done that the last couple of defensive possessions.
Yeah, now VCU goes to the free throw line after every foul. Now they're in the bonus.
Here comes Hill. Hits the first.
It can be a compounding effect when you foul VCU and put them at the free throw line. It's not just about the made free throws, because you've got to assume then there's added pressure because of their ability to set up their full court press.
Hill, the sophomore, misses the 2nd, so a rare miss for him, and VCU shooting 57% uncharacteristically from the free throw line this afternoon. 3-point lead for the Rams. Under 4.5 left to play. Myers can't turn the corner. Well defended by Evans. Ajabah trying to work in the post against Belle. Myers into the paint, picks up the dribble. Glover Toscano. Over to Simpson. He's been the leading scorer. Simpson soaring toward the cup, can't get it, falls to the deck. Hill controls the board. After starting 6 for 6, Simpson 1 for his last 6. Jennings tries to split 2. Hill open, look for 3, no good. Rebound controlled by Ward. Big offensive rebound. Here's Belle. Ajabah can't get it. Belle. What a finish. Glover Toscano trying to tell his teammates to hustle down the floor. Finkley, the drive, and that's going to be a blocking foul. This crowd can't believe it. It's against Ward. And that'll be his first foul. And headed to the free throw line will be Finkley after the break. But VCU, they have built a 5-point lead, courtesy Belle, who's got 14 here in the second half.
One of those teams having themselves a great season, 17-1. Not only losses to Virginia Tech, they beat a good Florida Atlantic team.
It'll be Finkley at the free throw line to shoot 2. St. Joseph's last led 59-57 at the 8-minute mark. Since then, they've been outscored 9-2 by VCU. Their offense has really cooled down as Simpson started missing a handful of shots for the first time this game. So I mentioned Anthony Finkley, one of those players that could really fill it up for St. Joseph's. He had a great season last year. You mentioned shot nearly 40% from 3, led all sophomores in the A-10 and 3-point shooting. This year has cooled down to 22%. But Finkley, 8 points and 2 big free throws to make it a 3-point game.
And you know, late in the game, the ball is going to be in Hill Jr.'s hands a lot. And so you have to load up your defense around Hill Jr. We got a little zone here for St. Joseph's to mix it up.
Nobody with more than 3 fouls for St. Joseph's here. Under 3.5 left to play.
Got to find the 3-point shooters.
Remember, VCU torched the zone in the first half. Can they do it again? Jennings for 3, yes! They find the open pocket. Six-point lead now for VCU.
No need to panic if you're St. Joseph's. Plenty of time. Gonna run your offense. I'd like to go inside here. We're trying to.
Williford with 10 to shoot. Finkley wants it. Here comes the help. Ward, risky.
Good switch.
Finkley, the fake. Finkley fighting through. What a bucket by Finkley. The patience and the strength. He's got 10. It's a 4-point game.
You call that willing it in. I just found a way to get a bucket. And they're electing to stay in this 2-3 zone.
I don't agree with it, Mike. VCU has been able to shoot the 3 very well when they face this zone.
And the Hill's a roamer. Right now he's at the free throw line.
Keep in mind on the shot clock. Jennings 4 for 4 from 3 in this game. Jennings the floater, no good. Tries to rip it away from Finkley. VCU fights for it. They get another possession, and the crowd loves it.
It pulls them out of the zone, too. No, they're going to stay in it.
Hill, the drive, trying to create some contact. Belle puts it on the floor. Belle nearly lost the dribble. 5 to shoot. Jennings trying to find the angle. Goes high, following through. How about Evans with the tap in?
Evans got that offensive rebound because there were 2 St. Joseph's players, including the freshman Williford, that weren't sure whether they were going in zone or man after the offensive rebound.
You called it out. There was certainly imbalance defensively. 6-point lead. Simpson attacking the cup, and a quick response and a timeout from St. Joseph's.
How good was that from Simpson? Woo.
The Hawks have hit their last 3 shots. It's a 2-possession game here in Richmond. There's something sweet about a tip jam off a missed 3. You just see it develop for that extra second.
feel like that was a short joke at my expense.
No,
I've
not
never
at all.
experienced
Not
a
at
tip
all.
back
I've
dunk.
been on my best behavior today.
Yeah, you've been pretty good.
I've limited the jokes.
You're right.
Tossed me a bone with the box score.
You're right.
Appreciate that. So let's get to this one here. VCU ball up 4, minute 24 left. St. Joseph's, what do you need to do defensively here against VCU? Because you know the Rams are most likely going to want to milk some of this clock.
Can I just, one other thing, breaking a timeout,
Yeah.
I would always like to kind of echo the coaching staff again. They've only got one timeout left. So it's not just about running your offense. I mean, you've got to be able to communicate all the way through. Like, you've had to get a great look when you get this possession offensively. Okay, you communicate, stop, rebound, run your offense.
Safe to say the one thing St. Joseph's can't do is foul on this possession.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here comes the full court press. They try the trap on Ward. Ward hits the backboard.
Wow.
It's going to be St. Joseph's ball. Glover Toscano quickly attacked. He got hit in the head. He is holding his head on the floor. Loose ball up ahead. Now it's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Ajuba looming near the cup. Oh, takes it right into the teeth of Ajuba. But now we've got Glover Toscano, who is still on the floor. We saw him take a really hard hit when he went up for that quick attempt. It's hard to see what happened in real time, if that was on the floor as he fell. Let's take one more look. So Glover Toscano goes up, loses his footing, and then that's, I think it's Haskins.
Oh, yeah, the shin. Oh,
that
man.
hits him in the back of the head.
That is painful.
Yes.
Inadvertence.
Great challenge by Ward.
It's a great challenge by Ward. You get the steal, and it's the right thing to do. Go attack right away. But came down very awkwardly. Oh, my.
Glover Toscano, as Steve Donahue said, if we need a bucket, we have to put the ball in someone's hands to get a shot. It's Glover Toscano.
And anytime you get a hit in the back of the head, Jordan, there's no need to rush anything at all. No. I mean, this is 100% a take your time moment. You have to take these things very seriously.
Glover Toscano sitting up. Yep, great sign there. He's going to be helped to his feet. You don't know if he's going to be able to go the rest of this game. Obviously, you have to be very cautious about a situation like this. For those of you tuning in for the George Washington versus George Mason game, you'll be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. As soon as it tips off, and of course, we'll get you out there immediately after the conclusion of this game. On the other end, how about Jennings, who's got a quiet 16 points going right to the chest of Ajuba.
He got that shot off because of the ball fake. He faked the lob on his initial rhythm into the layup. So tough.
Under a minute left. Simpson, the crossover at the top. Simpson attacking the floaters. Good. It's a 4-point game.
What a great reject by Simpson, and he is now getting into the paint at will.
Win this St. Joseph's foul. Steve Donahue telling his team to commit the foul. It's Simpson. Here's Williford trying to possibly foul Hill. He's the team's best free throw shooter. He will go to the line with 41.2 left. That is the 4th foul on Williford. So 1-and-1 coming up here for Hill.
Something that always makes it just extra hard and exhausting when you play teams like VCU. When you're down and you have to foul, you put VCU at the free throw line. Most teams are going to go back and set up their defense, but a lot of times teams like VCU, even they're up, they'll give you that soft token full court pressure to throw your rhythm off.
Hill now the 3rd Ram in double figures. He's got 10 points, just 3 of 11 from the field. But 2 big free throws there. 6-point lead, 41.2 left, and here comes that press. Finkley sprinting down the floor for St. Joseph's. You got to start thinking threes here.
Absolutely.
Finkley, a lot of time going off the clock on this possession. Clean look for Simpson. He got it. 3-point game, 28.4 left. Simpson now up to 27 points in this game as he hits his 5th three.
Well, now
Joseph's will burn their last timeout.
Now you can play the game of can you get a quick trap before you foul.
The George Washington versus George Mason game is underway and now available streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over. One thing, if you're St. Joseph's, you look at the other free throw shooters on the floor. Jennings is a great free throw shooter at 87%. We talked about Hill. He's right around 90%. If there is somebody on this court, Belle at 58% if he's on the floor. But it's going to be interesting who VCU checks into this game right now. Tracy, he's about 70% from the free throw line. Imagine one of the two guards will get this ball, and Ward is only 59%. So really, VCU only has two elite free throw shooters on the court right now, and one of them is going to be inbounding this ball.
I would also say, though, even though Belle isn't an elite free throw shooter, he's in such a rhythm in this game. He's 9 for 11 from the field. He's got 20 points.
Who will catch it, and when will the foul come? Hill runs a full route. He gets it back to Jennings.
Wow.
Well executed.
Yeah, that was. It doesn't get any better than that. It's just really good, old school give and go. Throw it, make a cut right away, and you get the pass off quickly before the foul comes.
Would there have been any logic there to doubling Hill in that situation, knowing that anybody else that catches it you might possibly send to the free throw line?
Yeah, absolutely. If you've practiced it. If you've never practiced it before, there's a very good chance that you may end up fouling off the ball, which would be the worst thing in the world because the clock, the clock doesn't start.
Free throw's good. So 26.2 remaining. It's a 5-point lead. St. Joseph's still thinking three-pointer here, but here comes that press that you mentioned.
This is what really just hurts your rhythm. You're just trying to get up the court, but then you got the full court press. I know where I'd be going.
Here's Simpson with the ball. Gets trapped on the ball screen. Under 15 left to play. Ripped away. Oh, Jennings pulled it from Finkley. 10 seconds remaining and a foul on the ball. And Terrence Hill Jr. raises the volume here in the Siegel Center as VCU will snatch victory from the talons of St. Joseph's.
They doubled Simpson in that ball screen, forced him to kick it out, and got a deflection.
Here comes Hill to the line with 9.5 remaining. 5-point lead for VCU. The Rams have won 9 of the last 10 over the Hawks, and Hill calmly pipes in the first free throw. Valiant effort this afternoon for St. Joseph's. 8 of 18 from the three-point line. But the second half scoring for VCU, the Rams shoot 50% from the field. They hit 5 threes en route to 11 total in this game.
The 18 turnovers really hurt St. Joseph's. And it wasn't that VCU just took full advantage of it. It's just, you've got to play the possessions game when you're playing VCU because of their tempo.
Here's Simpson. Clock winding down. Simpson racing towards the cup. Too strong. Haskins can't get the tip in. And VCU will close this out. And the Rams pick up the win. They improve to 13-6, 4-2 in the A-10.